everyone, and welcome back to our continuing conversations with Dr. Suzanne Lie. I'm Mary Perricone, and welcome. We have begun a new series called Creating Your Own Reality. And the last time we spoke, we began with a message from the Arcturians, who talked about a greater infusion of light coming into the planet at a higher frequency. So, Sue, how are you today? And welcome back.
I'm doing fine. I woke up with a very amazing message from Santa Clara, which was interesting because I've just reunited with that energy field. And so I pretty much got up, grabbed a pencil, paper, wrote until I could get settled and went over to my computer so I don't have to type it into the computer. And I don't think it's done yet, but life hit. So I hope I can pick up where I left off.
That's great. That's great. By the way, Sue and I have been reading a book together called Sanat Kumara, The Training of the Planetary Logos, which is a phenomenal book in case any of you listening would like to access that book. It can be ordered online. So, Sue, continuing with the conversation that we were having last time, the conversation focused on the physical body, listening to the physical body, and nourishment to enhance our vibration. And when we talk about creating our own reality, we also touched upon our intent and our responsibility. One of the things that keeps coming to me with regards to creation and the ascension process is a focus on what I would call abundant life. Abundant life. And in our culture, I wonder if when we hear the word abundance, we don't automatically zero into the abundance of money, the abundance of currency. And I also wonder whether or not we're being called to expand that concept, to change our perception within that spiral of life. And I wonder what you think about that.
Well, first off, the whole concept of money is particular to the third dimensional reality. Now, once in a while, we'll have dreams of money in our fourth dimensional reality, but those are pretty oblique and they phase in and out. So while we are attaching ourselves as money being a means of success, abundance, future, while we are tied into money being the cause and core, then we are also tied into that third dimensional consciousness. And that's a lot of what I was getting this morning, that we have so many resources within our multidimensional mind that we cannot access while we are thinking only on a third dimensional level. Now, of course, we have to pay our bills, we have to get a job, we have to do these things that we are doing. But there is a way of having money be a means to an end, as opposed to having money be the end of our means.
Wonderful concept. Wonderful concept. And Sue, before, in one of our conversations, we were talking about giving ourselves the gift of abundance, giving ourselves the gift of life. And I wonder if we could explore that further. You used a wonderful phrase about being in thanksgiving for substance. I wonder if you could repeat that.
Yes, this is a mantra that I have known for many years, and I absolutely promise that it totally works. And what this mantra is, thanksgiving for the substance at hand will duplicate the substance indefinitely. And so what Mary was talking about, living in abundance, rather than saying, oh, I don't, and how will I get? You say, I do, and I like this the best. I'm going to be so grateful for this because I know if I am grateful for this, I will expand its presence in my life. And it doesn't mean just money. It can mean a friendship, a love affair, a job, a creative project. But it's noting that to ourselves that Thanksgiving is a power unto itself. Because Thanksgiving, take a moment right now as you're listening to this and think of something that you are thankful for. Now, don't just go, oh yeah, that's great, but absolutely pull this gratitude into your heart, into your mind, and feel how thankful you are. And so therefore you have engaged your feelings, because a manifestation is the combination of our thoughts and emotions. So if we begin with our emotion of thanksgiving, it is an open-ended, grateful, reverent manner to live an abundant life. And then we have the thoughts of thanksgiving for the substance at hand will duplicate the substance indefinitely. Thanksgiving for the substance at hand will duplicate the substance indefinitely. And I have actually gone through times where I've chanted this, and it always worked.
A wonderful mantra, Sue, and thank you for sharing it with us. I wonder if we could unwrap that a little further and look at it from a broader perspective. And we often will hear the phrase, ask the universe or put it out to the universe. But what is the universe? What is the universe, Sue? What are we told that the universe is?
Well, Sue will answer what we're told, and then I'll bring in the Arcturians and get that answer.
Great.
What we are told is that the universe is physical, that it's huge, that it is beyond our conception. It isn't alive. It's a bunch of physical phenomenon that if it takes a long, long time to travel a long, long ways to ever even begin to encompass it. That's what we have been told is the universe. So now I'm going to ask the Arcturians. Beloved ones, we are very joyous to answer the question of what is the universe. The universe is that to which you are a personal portal. Each and every one of you are an expression of the universe. And you are not just one expression. You are a magnificent, multidimensional being that travels the universe through your consciousness, through your knowingness, that you are one with all life. The universe to us is a way of mapping different areas of the one. Now, in our map, it is not a flat map. It is not a geographical map. It is a consciousness map, a multi-dimensional consciousness map. And it is a map in which you can read different components of this map by shifting the frequency of your consciousness. And the higher the state of your consciousness, the difference and the higher dimension of the universe you will perceive. And so as you look at this multidimensional map, you know that even your physical conception, which seems quite limiting, is in fact correct. And our conception that each of you, our beloved grounded ones, are an open portal to the universe is also correct. Therefore, we ask you now to see before you this amazing multi-dimensional map. And you can go ahead and use your physical understanding of it and have it be layer on top of layer on top of layer. And as you look at these myriad layers, you find that the physical layer is very bright and dense to your third dimensional perspective. And as you go into the fourth dimensional layer, you need to expand into the alpha waves of your fourth dimensional consciousness in order to really perceive this level of the universe. And as you move into the higher levels all the way up to the 12th, while you are choosing to calibrate your consciousness to that particular dimension, that particular frequency, you have the ability to focus in on that particular arena, perception, experience of the universe. And you can also pan back and be the sum total of your multidimensional self and see the myriad multidimensional expressions of your universe. And you can pan back even further and see that your universe is just a member of your local universe. And your local universe is a member of your local multiverse. And that multiverse is a member of that higher establishment. And higher is not meant in terms of better than or that third dimensional. Higher means higher in frequency. And in the higher the frequency, the more perceptions you can gather within your multidimensional conceptions. Whereas the lower your frequency, the less concepts, the more linear concepts are the only ones that you can fully appreciate while working through your third dimensional brain.
Thank you for that explanation. And what comes to mind is that we have access, and in fact, we do function on all dimensions simultaneously.
Yes, we do function, yes.
As a portal, we are in fact the universe. So depending upon our intent and our purpose, energy out is energy in. Energy in is energy out. We, in fact, create and then receive those gifts. We open our consciousness to receive the gifts. We give them, in fact, to ourselves. That transformation occurs not only on an individual basis, but on a planetary basis, interdimensionally. I wonder if this analogy also might explain it. And that is, visualize a 12-story building that is all glass. It can be circular, it can be square, it can be any shape you wish. And you have access to the first floor and the 12th floor. And you travel throughout these floors all of the time, but each floor has a different view, if you will, and you have a different perception depending upon the floor. You used the word zoom. You could zoom out to the macro universe, you can zoom into the micro universe as a spiral within that portal. So naturally, we're seeing something different on the second floor than we are on the fifth floor, that we are on the eighth floor. But each is unique and not better than and not less than. Would that be an accurate or suitable analogy?
Yes, that is an analogy that we have used many times when we are communicating with our grounded ones, our volunteers who have taken on an earth body during this marvelous era of transmutation. It is always helpful to use something in that third dimension to explain something that is beyond that third dimension. For the greatest challenge is to remember your multidimensional mind. In your multidimensional mind, you are free of all limitations. And you carry your multidimensional mind along with you always and infinitely. And you always have for every incarnation you have ever taken. However, in many of your incarnations, especially the ones in the Kali Yuga, the last 2,000 years, the era of the darkest dark, the firewall between the third dimension, even between the third and fourth, and definitely between the fourth and beyond, has been too dense, too difficult to penetrate for several reasons. For one reason, there was so much fear within your reality during this era. And that fear lowers your consciousness. And the only way to penetrate that firewall is to expand your consciousness beyond the firewall. And then you can just float right through, over, around. It is no longer an obstacle. The only obstacle to perceiving all of yourself is the frequency of your emotions and of your thoughts. And that is why creation is a process of calibrating your thoughts and emotions into a higher frequency and combining them together. Now, the reality is, most of your third dimensional creations are actually multidimensional recreations. They are things that you have rehearsed creating in preparation for this particular embodiment. And as you become more and more aligned with your multidimensional self, you will begin to remember those innate tools within your multidimensional mind that will allow you to move through that firewall of the old third dimensional habit of work. And it is not work that is the source of creation. It is unconditional love.
Wonderful. So the greater infusion of light that we talked about in our last conversation that is coming in at a higher frequency allows us to clear that firewall to expand our vibration and bring about the realization, because we have been programmed with doubt and programmed with a concept of lack of self-worth. That expansion enables us to realize that through our intent, we do in fact and can in fact create our own reality with unconditional loving intent, and unconditional forgiveness, first to ourselves and then within ourselves, expand it within that portal to everyone and to everything.
Yes, because we cannot release that which we cannot forgive. And
Indeed.
If we are in a situation where we are holding any animosity towards any person, place, situation, or thing, if you were to look with your fourth dimensional perception, you would be able to see that there is a connection there. There is a bond between that and which you hold animosity towards. And so in order to move beyond a realm where animosity is something that is even a reality, you must release all negative feelings towards every part of the lives, towards every life you have ever taken. And this is what we were reading in the Santa Kumara book about how Santa Kumara comes in and splits himself into 900,000 pieces and is already this vastly advanced being. And then he goes in and he has all these lessons where he goes into a planet and he wakes up and he forgets who he is. And he becomes victimized by that planet. And then gradually through interacting, he begins to remember, wait, there's something more here. And as he progresses through this process, he learns, he remembers who he really is. And the thing that is important for us to remember is that no one is too big to avoid this process. No one is too evolved to avoid this process. Everyone, every being, that the highest of the high, the planetary logos, has gone through the very process. They are not asking us to go through something that they too have not gone before. And probably one of the things that will slow down ascension more than anything is impatience. Because that puts us into the place of being a victim. Why isn't this happening faster? I have been awakened for 2 months now. When's ascension coming? Now, Mary and I laugh because we've been awakened for decades. And so the advantage to that is that we long gave up with the asking when and instead chose, when I walk the path, this is how I feel. When I'm off the path, I don't want to feel that way. That is not the person I want to feel. Those are not the thoughts I want to have. That is not the life I want to live. We walk the path not because we want results right now. We walk the path because there is no better choice. How about you, Mary? Why do you walk the path?
There isn't any future in the past. There really isn't any past. There isn't anything that I would rather do than to do what I am doing right now in this millisecond of no time. Mm-hmm. It's a process. It's a process. And it's different for every one of the 7 billion beings who are on Gaia right now, 7 billion, plus or minus a few million. That process is different. We know when we are in alignment with that process for ourselves, our individual mission, our individual purpose. And we know when we are out of alignment with that process. So it is a rather straight and narrow path, but it is within the spiral, within that spiral of life, within that spiral of unconditional love, and we tap into it, we integrate it, and we share it. And one of the ways we share it is to go back to the very beginning of this conversation today, where Sue was talking about gratitude and appreciation for everything, for everyone, and for everything. And that expands and it expands and it expands within us. That thanksgiving and gratitude and appreciation.
Yes, and that magnetizes to us. See, what we have inside of us is what we see outside of us, because there is not a separation. That's the illusion of the third dimension, that there's this line and there's the inside and the outside. No, that line is just an illusion. That's a third dimensional illusion. And so our thoughts and emotions are always around us. Now, as I was saying, with all of the masters, we all, in our many, many incarnations, we have gathered darkness, fear, anger, sorrow, and so has Gaia. And we have come down and taken on her body, earth, air, fire, ether, same elements, same elementals, same fifth-dimensional elementals. And every time we clear a darkness from within ourselves and we transmute it into light, that transmutation goes into the body of Gaia. And so as we continually release that which is no longer helpful to our process of ascension, then we have created an abundant life. Because instead of focusing on, oh, this is such a challenge, what will I do with it? If we just say, oh, that is such a challenge, I'll need to release it. I need to release that. I will take the challenge, but I will release the fear, I will release the anger, I will release any negative feelings or limiting thoughts. And then I will accept the beautiful challenge that I signed up for, to be within a planet in the process of ascension. Is this a privilege or what, Mary?
Wow, indeed it is, Sue. Indeed it is. The entire concept that our inheritance, our heritage, is abundant life within everything. Abundant life for everyone, for everything, and the appreciation of that. So I'd like to ask our listeners to contemplate on abundant life and meditate on it, and let us hear from you on your thoughts or on your questions in the next few weeks before we come back again. And this is probably, Sue, a good place to end our conversation for today. Thank you, and thank the Arcturians, and thank you to everyone who is listening. Sue?
Yes, and if you want to share, you can please use my email, SuzanneCarroll@multidimensions.com. You can make comments to the YouTube that this is, and I will also place the YouTube on the blog, and you can make comments on the blog. And we will very much love to hear from all of you, because a greater part of Mary's and my purpose is to really gather together in unity consciousness. And thank you all for joining us in the now. And Blessings be. And allow us all to together in this moment of the now to create new earth. And we are creating new earth with our every thought and our every emotion. It's quite a privilege, and we really need to pay attention. Blessings.
See you next time.
See you next time.